And we're back in the next episode of Hero Comics talking about stuff. This is Epic Mickey Fail. Basically, me talking about wondering why Epic Mickey, this franchise, failed and is not around anymore. Even though it was a pretty awesome franchise to me. Let's see here. There were three, right? There were three games, two for the consoles, one for a handheld, right? I think that was it. And they were actually pretty interesting games. When I first heard that Epic Mickey, that it was going to be a Mickey Mouse game, it was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. I haven't seen Mickey Mouse play as Mickey Mouse in a long time. Now, I haven't played Kingdom Hearts, so I didn't really play that. So it's really even there was like I heard there was talk of this movie, but nothing really happened with it. I haven't really seen anything wrong with that. So I'm really glad I was really glad to see that it was gonna be a game where you could play as Mickey Mouse, and it was like a guy hanging out who's supposed to be someone who did some really cool stuff in the past. He's gonna be doing it, so I'm like, okay, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be great. Now I have to actually look around and see if I can find any more things, like from if Rev 3 Games goes back that far on YouTube or Rev 3 Games. Shoot, I can Rev 3 Games. Yeah. Well, I'll figure it out. Anyway, though, so and basically, let's see. I'm trying to figure out why the franchise isn't around anymore, though. Why did these games not sell to the numbers that they need to sell to be good? To basically continue being in production. Let me think here. Let's go from let's try to figure out. Let's go from I think the biggest, most encompassing things to basically that are make it Epic Mickey, and then go down to things that are more game about games in general. So we're gonna start with the story of Epic Mickey, okay? Because the story is what makes Epic Mickey. In Epic Mickey 1 and 2, you basically play as Mickey, and the story is that he got into, so while poking around in this one wizard's place, he got into this magical book uh, that has a world in it, which is a place for forgotten cartoon characters. So he's in this world. Most of the time you're spending, yeah, he's in this world, and has to defeat. He sees all kinds of cool cartoon characters, but he sees a bunch of not, cartoon characters that are not cool, like this giant blot thing, and a bunch of all his that thing's minions, and he has to stop them. So yeah, he stops them in the first game. Stops him he destroys that giant blot thing in the first game, and in the second game, he actually goes back and has to clean up, help make, rebuild, basically, fix things that were left, the damage that was left in the wake of this destruction of this creature, which is pretty cool to me. Really cool to me that they was like basically the first one is you introduce the world, you're introduced to the world. The second one and you save the day in the first one. Then the second one you're actually helping rebuild the world that you saved in the last one. That is a cool thing to me. That is something I have never really seen in games. Never really seen. I haven't seen much in games. Like what if Mario? I'd like to see like a Mario like that. Because like Mario's like, oh, we saved the princess. Especially this latest one. Well, not Mario 3D World. The latest Wii U, the Super Mario Brothers Wii U, that one. Uh, Bowser broke into sent a bunch of ships of Doom ships over to Princess Peach's castle, punched a hole into the castle, grabbed Princess Peach, and no, actually grabbed Mario and Luigi and the two Toads and threw them out of the castle, and then took over the castle. So when you finally save Princess Peach, you know, I'm like, everything magically gets back to normal. What? Wait, whoa. That's kind of crazy. I would like to see that. Like, oh yeah, next game, you have to rebuild. If Princess is saved, you have to rebuild. That'd be cool. Very different, but or you have to get rid of all the rest of the enemies in the game. In there. Figure out where they're coming from. Yeah, that's what you're doing in here. Although in Epic Mickey 2, there was one guy who looks like Frosty the Snowman as a ghost who was trying to stop you from destroying the blotlings, creatures that are basically bad guys, are bad guys. They were made by this giant blot thing, and it's like this guy wants me to leave the blot guys alone. I'm like, okay, what the heck? I don't, and then it's like, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And I agree. There were like townspeople who are basically old school characters like Horace Horsecollar and Clarabelle Cow, who basically are saying, "Yeah, we don't like these blotlings around here, man. These guys are crazy, man." You know, like I agree. I'm not. I don't think it's racist at all. These guys terrorized the land of Forgotten Tombs. You know, I expect people to say like, "Oh, yeah, you horrible enemy from the last game. We're gonna let you, I'll give you a free pass." No. You know, it was just unreasonable. That was unreasonable. And I was like, when he was ticked off and I didn't, go through that one place with a perfect run, I was like, yeah, I don't care. Let's fight the boss. So I was like, no, that was the issue. But no, that's for later. So the story seemed it was pretty cool to me. So I don't see that was the reason why the Epic Mickey franchise failed. What's next? The world itself. Let's talk about the world itself. The world of the story. Oh, what? The room is not here, is it? Oh, okay. Okay. Sure. I guess. Wait. Sure. You can. Oh, yeah. Go on. Yeah. Go ahead. I guess. Down there. Well, how that works. Ah. Anyway, the world of Epic Mickey is yeah, that's good. The world of Epic Mickey is basically you're going to be yeah, in the world of Forgotten Toon cartoon characters, right? Basically, oh, that's how it works. Okay, basically in that world of cartoon characters, you're hanging out with yeah, you're hanging out with these characters that are pretty old school style. They have a lot of nostalgia to them. Mostly the generic NPCs are characters like Horace Horsecollar and Clarabelle Cow, but there are different other kind of characters in there. No, the world. We're talking about the world. The world. There's the set. Basically you're set in Mean Street North, Music South. There's like basically a old timey looking city. The Wild West, cartoon Wild West with actual cartoon characters etched into rock. Like how Mount Rushmore has the faces. They have like faces like that all over the place. There's so many callbacks, so many different things. Inside these environments that are just callbacks to different Disney cartoons and movies and stuff. They even have stuff from Fantasia in this one cave. There's like the angel side and the devil side and all this lava inside. It's really cool. It's a really awesome, glorious looking world. This picture right here you see totally could be a level. Totally could have been a level. I think it was. It might have been. Yeah. And it's like, oh my goodness. They even had a level where you went through the events, animatronic events of the last game. It was so cool. So the world is not what can't be what made what stopped the what made the Epic Mickey franchise not work. Okay, that can't be it. Let's talk about our characters now. Characters you play as Mickey Mouse. All right, Mickey Mouse has with Mickey Mouse, and he is as a mischievous type character. That's the reason why things get he gets into trouble. He goes into the book. Now he has to make up for his past mistakes. The stays yeah, that's gross. All right. Anyway, you play as Mickey in the first one. You play as Mickey and Oswald in the second one. And you hang out with a bunch of other characters. Of course, calling Clarabelle Cow, but that's okay because that's old timey stuff. That's old school stuff. There's a lot of nostalgia attached to it. Attached to these characters. You play. Also, you hang out with that ghost that looks like Frosty. That looks like a Frosty the Snowman. There are several other different characters, including a bunch of Peg Leg Pete's. Okay, I like Pete, mostly from Goof Troop, but still. Actually, mostly because of Goof Troop. Actually, almost all because of Goof Troop. Because back then he was just a generic big bad guy. But it was like you see him being silly and fun in Goof Troop. I like that. I like that. So yeah, seeing him just run around, as Small Pete in a dress, or as Tron Pete in that weird in the Tron outfit that doesn't work for that's basically it doesn't work for him so well because he's obese. So it's just fun. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of cool characters in there. No, the characters. Hortensia, well, she's mostly generic, Minnie Mouse before Minnie Mouse person, but still. But still, she at least is like suspicious of these people. Oh, that professor guy, of course you can't forget him. One of the bad guys from the last one. is back and he's doing something. I don't know what's happening to this guy. I have not played through that whole entire game yet. I will play through it, but until then, I don't know what he's causing problems. He's causing problems. This thing, yeah, definitely is one of the weirdest things ever. He's basically, he's evil, but he's also fun to watch too. So it's a lot of characters that are in here that are really awesome and fun. The snowman ghost guy is not very fun because he wants to protect, save the blotlings who are mostly jerks anyway. So I'm like, whatever. But other than that, everybody, the characters seem to be pretty cool. So that cannot be the reason why the franchise failed. So there's now, let's see here. What are all the mechanics, of the game? What are you going to be doing in this game? Basically, what you did in the game, both games, as far as I know, is you had a Mickey. You as Mickey have a magic paintbrush that can either, magic paintbrush that can shoot. That can either shoot blasts or streams of paint or thinner. All right. If you need to paint, if you see some outlines, basically transparent things, you can paint. You shoot paint at them to paint them to basically make them visible and tangible, so you can jump on them, to get places. Or jump on them to get places, run across bridges, uh, basically just use, be able to use certain things. You have to make them visible. You have to do that. It's or if you're trying to get rid of stuff, you thin it out, use thinner. You look around to beat up enemies, and find places where you can get thinner and paint and spray thinner to if there's like a wall you want to get past, you spray thinner on that wall, and then make a hole you can go through and get secret exits and secret entrances. And it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do with that. And of course, Oswald had the in Epic Mickey 2, he had the what's it called, that electrical controller, right? And he's able to use that thing to power up the system, charge things up, and control other things. And he was able to use it to charge things up and basically hack into other things. And it was pretty cool. Those were pretty cool things you could do, So it was like a team mechanic. I really wish they had worked more on that two-player aspect, so that more people could just continue. With and maybe eventually a four-player co-op thing. That'd be cool. That'd be so cool. But anyway, two-player thing. Basically, Oswald has electricity, so he can basically electrocute things. Oh yeah, that's how. Instead of a paintbrush, he has electricity. So basically, he electrocute things, and he could basically, you could have to paint in wires. There was cables and things that were transparent. You had to paint them in. So then, when he would use electricity, the electricity would reach the machine that you needed to open the door or start the device necessary to get through to the next part of the game. And I was like, that's cool. That's cool, So especially in two-player, you can work as a team. Hey, I need you to paint this thing. Hey, dude, I need you to paint this thing in here so I can chuck it. Or hey, I need you to hack this terminal so I can open this door. It was cool. It's very cool. Jumping around. You could jump around. You could do all this stuff. Mess around with all these cool things. Oh, and he Oswald can fly for short periods because he has his helicopter ears. Things like that. Things like that are the mechanics of the game. What you're going to be doing in the game. It's pretty good. Basically. So that can't be why the system failed. Why the franchise failed. Now, there's one final thing that I think this thing is what I think causes the franchise to fail. That would be the controls. Okay, the controls. The world was great. The story was great. The world was great. Characters are awesome. Which I've seen many though. And oh yeah, also I forgot the characters. There were some creepy robot versions of certain core Disney characters like Goofy and Donald and Daisy, but that was creepy. But they were still kind of endearing, but it still was creepy because they were looked like Terminators. I call the Goofy one the Goofinator, the silly cybernetic organism. Because basically you see characters have like an eye, that have half their face missing. You see the glowing eye in there, like a Terminator. So it was bad. It was crazy. What? I think Goofinator had lost an arm or some crap. What the heck? Weird. It was just a bit weird, but still, it's quirky. Not the reason why I believe the franchise failed. I think the franchise failed because of the bad controls, especially camera controls. Here's how the controls were, at least in the Xbox 360 version. On that version, the aiming and the camera were both on the same control stick and on the same analog stick. Now, if this is a first-person game, that would be fine because you are basically looking around with your target, with the camera and stuff, and you're going like, okay, where's the enemy so I can shoot at them with my stuff. This is not a first-person game. This is not a second-person game where you're just right behind Mickey. Mickey's off to one side. That would have been cool too, like Batman or something like or Crash. So that Batman or Crash or Sonic or something. Mickey's off to one side of the screen. And you're basically, looking, the camera's right behind him, and you're looking right here, and Mickey's turning his head and pointing the paintbrush. That would have been fine too. But no, this game was trying to be one of these games where it's third person or something where it's basically you're seeing the camera is basically filming him jumping across these things, the platforms, and running around all over the place. And so basically, because of that, the camera and aiming were on the same thing, like a first-person shooter or something. His aiming would be bad because basically you'd be like, okay, there's an enemy shooting thinner at me. If I get hit too much with this, I will die. Or he's shooting thinner at this one bridge. I got to get rid of him so that I can go across this bridge. I can paint the bridge in and go across. So I don't have to worry about it being thinned and falling to my death. Okay, how do I do that? Okay, let's aim the target getting ready to kill at this enemy. Okay, so you try to aim it at him. The camera can like pass him sometimes, and it'd be like, oh shoot, where'd he go? Or like, I've had like times where I was able to look up at Mickey from the ground and have his paint flyer off to the side of the screen. What the heck? What the heck was that? That was just that was I think that was the reason why the franchise didn't fail because the franchise failed because the controls were so bad. The camera controls were just not right at all. I really wish they had fixed that because they had another chance to fix it. They had Epic Mickey. They had that other Epic Mickey game on handheld. Hopefully they fixed it there. Well, I don't know if they fixed it there. They might have fixed it there. I don't know. But this Epic Mickey 2, the one I played, that one did not fix it. The camera controls were just crazy in there, and it was horrible. Basically you can have an awesome story. You can have an awesome world with all kinds of cool stuff in it. Kill that thing. You can have awesome characters. Awesome characters and awesome mechanics. Problem is, if you don't have good controls for it, then people won't want to play your game because it's like, if I do this, yes, the world looks amazing, but it's hard and annoying to do it, to actually move around in this world and do stuff that you need to do. I don't want to play this because of this. That's why I think the system failed. The franchise failed, and hopefully Disney will take this as a lesson. Please work on your controls. If you want to keep the same controls, at least make it so it's a second. Make it so that the camera stays right behind Mickey. Okay, stays right behind him. Have him off to one side. You want Mickey in camera. You want Mickey in camera. You want people to see Mickey all the time. I have no problem with this. Be like Batman Arkham City or like Gears of War or something where the camera is right behind the character or off to the side right behind the character or something like that. So basically, then you can have camera and aiming at the same controls because then they follow that. Okay, come back here. Hey. That's like that. You got to make sure that that's the way it is. If you're gonna, do something like that, please, that's the issue. Please, no more of this whole, third person weird camera controls along with the the aiming thing because that was horrible. That was, I think, that is the reason I believe the franchise failed, and it's really sad because this was really awesome, awesome ideas, a lot of awesome ideas with the bad controls on there. So please, please do better next time with this. I would really like to see more Epic Mickey. You guys really need some good Epic Mickey, good Disney games. So that'd be nice. Nice to connect things too. So yeah, you're doing pretty good with your Connect stuff. So I'm gonna see you next time. Check out my stuff on YouTube and DeviantArt, like how Sonic 2006 should ended up on DeviantArt, as well as my Halo 3 Star Ocean Second Story and Super Mario World stuff on YouTube.com. See you next time.